Quanchi here with a quick mini cast, Whatevs mini cast for the Nintendo Direct that was for September 23rd. And a lot of people doing the videos, the opinions about the Direct and all that. But I thought I'd put my 2 cents out there for what it's worth, kind of recap and all that. So let's get started. So it opened with a little theatrical cinematic trailer for the new Monster Hunter Rise DLC that's coming out next year. Looks cool. I really don't play the Monster Hunter series much, but cool for those who play it. Then we got an update for Mario Party Superstars. They're showing off some of the other boards that are going to be part of the game, and also kind of highlight the online play that they have. Like they have a lot of like mini game focus, like they're called courses and stuff like that too. So it seems really cool. I looking forward to it. I was a little worried it was going to be really short on content, like a small little repackage, but it looks like a lot of work's going into it. A lot of cool updates, and honestly, my little experience with Mario Party is that I played it for N64 and then didn't really touch the series until the Switch version, Super Mario Party. So there's a lot of titles I haven't played, a lot of mini games I haven't played. So I think the Superstars game is going to be really fun for those who maybe took a break or are new to the Mario Party game. So it seems like a really good title, so looking forward to that. Next was a Square Enix game called Voice of Cards. It's really unique looking. It has a nice presentation. It's like an RPG tabletop card battling game. So I'm not sure exactly how it's going to play out. It is coming out, I believe, next month, they said. But I know there's a free demo available. So it looks kind of neat. Might want to check out the demo because I'm kind of an RPG guy, and something different might be something to check out. Next, I talked about like this detective game, Disco Elysium Final Cut. It doesn't really appeal to me. I just know like the big thing about that game is that your choices impact the game a lot. They call it Final Cuts. I'm not sure if it was released before. It is being ported to Switch, but it's out there. Then you had an update for Hyrule Warriors, The Age of Calamity, the expansion pass. Next DLC is coming out, and it's going to be a lot more story-driven, like more stories and new characters. I think they just showed off one, but I think there might be two. But more content. A game I didn't check out myself. I'm not sure if I'm going to jump into those games just because there's like so many games out there, but it's kind of like on the back of my mind, so I might check that out. But a little bit the showcase of the Age of Calamity expansion. The next Chocobo GP. It's a kart-style racing game from Square Enix based off Final Fantasy, and it looks really neat. I think it looks pretty cool. It makes sense. It kind of, I don't know if it really makes sense when you look at it, but it seems like a good competitor for Mario Kart in a sense. They say it's going to be exclusive to Switch 2022. I know back in the day, like in PlayStation, there was a few Chocobo game, like Chocobo Dungeon, and I thought they had a racing game. I thought, man, I'm not sure if this is similar or like a sequel or a spiritual sequel. But that kart racing game looks pretty neat because you can. I'm not sure if it's like Vivi or just a Black Mage, but there's also Gilgamesh. I think there was like a Behemoth. I think Garland too, like from Final Fantasy IX, his model. But it looks really cool. I want to check that out. So it'd be kind of fun to mix it up since we're not going to get a new Mario Kart anytime soon. You know, there's rumors. The next day talked about Super Smash Bros., the last character for the DLC, and that it's going to be announced October 5th. So kind of a little tease. I wish people were really hoping to get those details of who's the last fighter. But at least we have a definitive date that, yes, it will be announced on the 5th of October. I'm not sure if it's going to be released that same day, but we're going to get a lot of details on the 5th, knowing who the last fighter is. And next, I would honestly say this is probably the highlight of the Direct. The new Kirby game. I got spoiled. I don't think I got spoiled too much. I just know that people expect a new Kirby game. But this one looks really, really cool. It's called Kirby in the Forgotten Land, coming out spring of next year. And it's a free movement 3D game, so it looks really good. It makes a lot of sense because I feel like a lot of past Kirby games kind of follow the same formula. Like they had the 2D gameplay or the 2.5D where you just go left and right. So it's like free movement, maybe kind of sandboxy too. So I think it's a really good revival to the series. It looks really good, and hopefully it does really well. But I'm loving Kirby games. All that, so I'm really glad to see something really new that feels like it's going to work out. So I'm looking forward to the next Kirby game. The next Animal Crossing update, another tease. It's going to be next month. They're going to actually have an Animal Crossing Direct, with it kind of unusual because in the past, if there was updates, they kind of included in a Direct versus having it separated. So maybe it'll be a much bigger update. Who knows? But they did hint. I think there's a rumor for the longest time, like ever since they did the first update for Animal Crossing last year, is it was part of the museum called the Roost, and I forget that one character's name because they kind of showed his image too. But we're getting that update. I think it's like the coffee shop. I haven't really played the Animal Crossing games besides the New Horizons, but we get more details next month, and the update is set to be released in November. After that, Mario Golf, just a free update that just dropped. 2 new characters and new courses. Neat, but I don't really play that game. And they talk about this Disney game, Disney Magical World. I guess it was on a 3DS that they mentioned on the trailer. It looks more like a kid's game, like more younger. It looks neat. So if you like Disney, it looks kind of cool. But yeah, just a Disney game. Next, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is coming to Switch November, which is pretty cool. I think it got released on Steam, so I think they have updated games since, but I'm not sure how the one we're going to get on Switch is going to play or how it's going to be. It's kind of classic. I honestly haven't played it since it came out originally. I'm not sure if it's going to be one of those remasters that have a higher price tag, but if it's cheap enough, or if the price is right, I'd be very tempted to check that out. Next, they talk about Dying Light 1 and 2. Games that they didn't really ring with me. I didn't really care. I guess it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic game and stuff like that. I think the second game has like the subtitle "Stay Human." Not really my thing, so don't really care. And next, they talk about Triangle Strategy, which is the big Square Enix game. It feels like a spiritual successor of Final Fantasy Tactics, and seeing more and more updates and content for it. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case. I think a lot of people are going to be happy with the game. They did talk about also updates based on the feedback surveys they did. They had a demo earlier this year, so it's kind of cool that they like looking at quality of life things or updates and listening to people throughout the development. So it's kind of neat. I think I haven't had too many companies besides Square, because Square did that for the Bravely Default 3, I think, or the one that just released on Switch. But it's really neat that they kind of take those opinions and kind of get the feedback as the game's being developed. So something that can happen during development versus something that has to get patched out later, like if there's major issues or anything like that. So it's kind of a neat take on the development process. And I'm not sure if they announced this, but the release date is March 4th of 2022. Because I know it's coming soon, but yeah, March 4th is when it's coming out. Then in Direct, they talked about Metroid Dread some more. It's kind of seemed more about story. I know Nintendo's been doing a lot of marketing, so I feel like it didn't add too much. The release is right around the corner. Everything looks great, so it's kind of cool to see more gameplay. Yeah, just a little segment about Metroid Dread. It looks cool coming out, but I didn't think it added too much to the hype, I guess. But yeah, that's something to look forward to. And next is update for Nintendo Switch Online, which it has been rumors about as well before the Direct. And the update is new content, kind of like an expansion. It's going to be including Nintendo 64 games, which was rumored, but also Sega Genesis. And I was really surprised by that. I'm not sure if others are surprised, because people were thinking like Game Boy or Game Boy Advance. They're expecting that. But yeah, getting Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis game. And what they announced, what will be released when it comes out, seems like a pretty good lineup. There's going to be more titles along the way. Some notable ones: F-Zero, Paper Mario, Banjo-Kazooie. I think eventually they didn't announce when this will be released, so I'm not sure if it's going to be by the end of the year or early next year. But they're going to have new pricing, so to get these additional ones, I'm sure you're going to have to pay more for Nintendo Switch Online. So kind of not sure if it's good or bad news or whatever, but hopefully it won't be too much. But it seems like hopefully if they deliver on the content, especially a big concern is like future updates. I know the SNES and NES updates have been really lackluster as of this year. Still waiting for Super Mario RPG and Earthbound, but who knows. So Hopefully, if it is a little price hike, it's going to be worth it. Next, they talked about Run Trilogy. I'm not too familiar with this game. I heard about it before, but it's like a cyberpunk RPG game, post-apocalyptic or whatever you want to call it. But that's coming out next year. And then this was also rumored, but the Castlevania Advance Collection is coming to Switch. I believe it's just like 4 titles for Game Boy Advance. I'm not quite sure. But it's going to have like features with game like save states and rewinding and button mapping. So pretty cool. I don't think I checked out too much of those games. I know the DS ones had really good ones. I'm not sure if we're eventually going to get those titles for Switch or even Symphony of the Night. I know that's PlayStation, but yeah, more cool Castlevania games. And then they had, I think this is like a remake or remastered ActRaiser. It's going to be unique, like a hybrid game. I never played the original, but it has like a lot of side-scrolling action and then kind of like world building, like strategy things. So it seems pretty neat. Next, Deltarune Chapter 2. We know that was coming because I think they dropped it last week on Steam and PC. Like, I think Itch.io. I'm not sure if other consoles got it yet, but people are wondering, like, is it going to hit Switch soon? So, a little delay, but now it's like, yep, you can get on Switch now. So, that was kind of neat. And then they had, like, a little quick montage showcase of some games. Not really much interesting, like there's a Hot Wheels game, one called Surviving Aftermath, a little like visuals for Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I guess it's in pre-order now. A Pac-Man, Rune Factory 5, but yeah, it's kind of like a really small showcase. It's kind of weird that some titles like barely get any mention. And next, kind of neat for a Nintendo Direct, something different, is they talked about the Super Mario Brothers movie. And they officially announced it's going to come out next year for holiday 2022. And then they also announced a lot of the English voice actors, which include Chris Pratt as Mario, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Jack Black as Bowser. And they're going to have Charles Martinet, the original voice, well, the current voice of like Mario and others in the game. But they just said he's going to have surprise cameos. There's no trailers or anything like that yet, but hopefully we see them soon. I know, especially like animated movies can take years to develop and produce. So hopefully we'll see stuff coming up cool soon. That's cool. But yeah, it seems like there's going to be a lot more voice acting in this movie because when I first heard the movie, it seems like, what's it going to be like? Like, is it going to be limited voice acting more based on the... Because the games aren't really known for the voice acting either, so more details. This one concern I have, I'm sure others have, but I feel like making this movie too Hollywood. Like, you know when they try to get whatever A-list actors, and it feels like they care more about getting this actor's name on the movie versus who would best fit for that role for that character. So who knows, maybe they do really good jobs with the roles, but it feels like, okay, let's get the big actor, get this guy, that guy, and like just so we can slap the names on the project, on the movie. So a little concerns about that, but we'll see once trailers actually come out. Yeah, because I also know Illuminations, the Despicable Me Minions people, are making it. So some people had some concerns about that. So next they talked about Splatoon 3, and got this more visual gameplay, all that. It seems like this one's going to have a more involved story mode. I haven't played the first one, and the second one I didn't really play the story mode as much. It kind of feels like Splatoon is more of a multiplayer game. So I wonder if they deliver a really good like single player story mode. That'd be kind of neat. I might have to revisit Splatoon 2 to see how the story mode is. One thing I'm kind of hoping if because one concern I have is that since it's coming on the same generation, the same console that the Splatoon 2 came in, I don't want them to be too similar, being the same generation. But I hope they'd like more platforming in the gameplay. I did see like one power up, like they had like these paint arms or something that I kind of used to traverse this stage. So I think they had like more platforming in terms of even short use power ups. That'd be kind of neat. Kind of freshen things up. So you would have to add more to the game to feel like it's a repackaged sequel, all that. So hopefully it doesn't get stale. And last, I think also a big highlight too of the direct is Bayonetta 3. They showed a good trailer. They showed a lot of gameplay. It looks really, really good. I haven't played the series. It looks really good. I need to jump into it. I know the other titles are on Switch. I know it's a game I would love. I just need to eventually come around and get those games. And I know a lot of people were concerned about Bayonetta 3, about its development, because there's been a lot of like quiet, like hush, like they haven't, well, we can't show you anything, we can't show you anything, or nothing's going to be shown. And now we get this amazing trailer that shows case a lot of the game, and officially it is set to come out next year. So I think people were worried about that being in development hell, like, how far along, but it looks great. It sounds like development's going really great, and yeah, really cool. So a good way to end a direct. So thanks so much for listening. I haven't really too much opinions besides what I mentioned throughout the recap. Like I said, probably the disappointment is not hearing more about like the SNES Online for Mario RPG and Earthbound or any updates. People been rumored like there's supposed to be a new Donkey Kong game, Metroid Prime 4. We haven't heard anything about, and I think that's about it. Like all that. So thanks so much for listening. Comment below feedback, like the direct and what you think, and like, didn't like, whatever. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.